Welcome back at 921. Trying to curb dementia and slow its effects on the brain can be a daunting task. A study from JAMA Neurology found that people who are more engaged in physical activity, such as walking and exercising, were less likely to develop dementia. Here now to talk with us about this research is Dr. Reena Mehta with Uptown Allergy and Asthma. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. All right, so we were just chit-chatting about this for a second. This is actually pretty interesting. Maybe not the first time that a study has kind of looked into something like this, but what did it find?
So what was interesting about this study published in JAMA Neurology is that they looked at adults age 40 to 79, and they basically said, how much do you need to walk to actually reduce your risk of dementia? So what they did was they looked at this 78,000 people, and they basically said, how many steps do they take a day on average, and how fast are they walking? And what they found was that those people who walked about 9,800 steps a day were able to reduce their risk of dementia by 50%.
Well, I'm trying to do the quick math. 9,800 steps a day. Do you know how far that is? What would that?
It's a lot of steps. So, I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you're, in your older age group, 9,800 steps is just under that 10,000 limit a day. So, it's a few miles. Now, that being said, it wasn't that there wasn't a protective effect if you walk less. What they said was that if you walked about 3,800 steps a day, so about 4,000 steps a day, you could reduce your risk of dementia by 25%. And then what they also noted was that it's not only how many steps you take, but it's the intensity of the walk. So the faster you walk, the faster pace, the risk reduction is even more with dementia.
Well, okay. So it sounds like overall that this is basically. I mean, we were talking about walking, right? But exercising overall leads to a lower risk of dementia.
Absolutely. I mean, multiple studies have shown that the more physically active you are, the better it is to maintain a healthy brain. What was most notable about this study is they showed that people who walked more than 40 steps a minute, so that's a brisk walk, like a power walk, they showed that that was the group that really reduced their risk of dementia by more than 50%. So again, like I said, it's obviously the more steps you take a day, the better it is for your health. But obviously, if you can walk faster, the risk reduction of dementia is even more. So, on a beautiful day like today, if you get
Oh
out there and
yeah,
walk and you do that every day, it really can help your overall brain health.
it's perfect day to day to get started. Maybe creating a new habit if you haven't done it yet. This is what one of the things that we were talking about in the break was. I asked you, does it have to be walking? Um, Not necessarily. Maybe you're rowing, canoeing, whatever it may be. But you were telling me walking is a better option, especially for people who are up in age, right?
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about walking is you can also track it, right? You can wear your, Fitbit or your Apple Watch and it can track your
Yeah.
number of steps. So you can really kind of, figure out a way to close those rings and get those steps in. But anything that is physically active, you want to do at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise a day. So maybe that if walking is hard on your joints, maybe swimming or, other ways to be physically active. The other thing that reduces the risk of dementia is just doing meaningful tasks. So household chores, visiting with family. Staying active is the key point here. Keeping your brain energized, active, engaged is the most important things to reduce your risk of dementia in the future.
And I gotta imagine too that there's not necessarily like a time when like, hey, all right, now you got to start walking to reduce your risk of dementia. Anytime is probably a good time to
Exactly.
start trying to knock those 10,000 steps out a day.
Exactly. So in this study, they looked at people they quantified how much they walked a day and then looked at whether they were diagnosed with dementia within 7 years. So, I mean, I think, if you start early, it's obviously protective, but, any time is better than no time. Just get out there and start moving is really the key point here.
All right, so get out there, start walking. I know I saw you at the Fly last weekend, so we'll be walking around at the soccer fields a lot. But what a beautiful time to get out there and walk. Dr. Mehta, thank you so much for joining us this
Thank
morning. We
you. Well,
appreciate
hopefully
it.
we can all enjoy the better weather.
Oh, yeah, it should be great.